How you doing, my family and friends? Many times as human beings, fear paralyzes us and we get held captive by the opinions of others. And I choose to conquer my fears and free myself from the opinion of others. Let me repeat that. Many times as human beings, we get paralyzed by fear and we get held captive by the opinion of others. And I choose to conquer my fears and free myself from the opinion of others. And that way, it allows for me to explore, to grow, and to move forward and evolve when you take that approach. Because when you don't free yourself from the opinion of others and you don't conquer your fears, then that implies that you're just gonna be stuck in whatever situation you find yourself in, because you don't have the audacity to challenge what's in front of you, even if it's your own self. That's very important, what I just said right there. And, you know, to get to where I'm going, I gotta conquer my fears and I gotta free myself from the opinion of others. That's always gonna be, you know, because once you get paralyzed by fear, then you start getting controlled by doubt. You start getting controlled by doubt. You start doubting everything and you start getting controlled by worry. You start worrying about everything and you start making assumptions that's false, that's not true, that's not your reality, because you're making them up in your own mind. Assumptions that just come up, and no, we're not making assumptions. We're gonna go off of facts. And the facts is that I could see, that I could hear, that I'm able to get up and go. That's a fact right there. And me knowing that, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna move forward, I'm gonna plant seeds, and I'm gonna take it step by step. Because one move that you make is gonna open the door for you to make another move. And that's how it works, brick by brick, one day at a time. You know, and you can't wait around for somebody to come and tell you how to do it, explain to you how to do it. You know, because more often than not, people just not willing to tell you how to do it or even explain to you how they did it. They don't want to do it. It's human nature. It's human nature. They're not going to tell you. They want to capitalize off of you, on your resources, for their gain. That's human nature. That's just the way the world works. Why wouldn't you tell us how to do it? Why wouldn't you show us the way? And this is why you got to conquer your fears and free yourself from the opinion of others, because you got to do your own exploring. You got to do your own investigation. You got to do your own research. And you got to be willing to deal with the consequences of whatever choice you're going to make, because you're still going to deal with the consequences if you don't make no choices. If you don't make no choices and you paralyze yourself, there's a consequence to that right there. There's a consequence to that right there. So you're going to deal with the consequences either way. So I'd rather deal with the consequence of knowing that I tried, because more often and more likely than not, it's going to work out. Why is it going to work out? Because I'm going to make it work out, and I'm going to be relentless with it. I'm going to chase it down. You know, that's just the way it is. That's just the way, you know, I'm wired to be. Thank God for that blessing right there. You know, I'm going to go and chase it down and put my best foot forward and swing for the fences. Swing to knock it out the park. You know, that's how I was able to enjoy and live a lot of the experiences that I was able to live. That's how I was able to get to point A, from point A to point B. You know, by going, by not waiting around. You know, and if this door closes, then I go through another door and I knock that door down, and I keep going and I keep going. You know, and a setback It's just a setup for a comeback. You know, you always got to get up. You know, I've gotten knocked down plenty of times. Hard too, all the way down to rock bottom. And I still dust myself off and, you know, went off what I thought of myself and what God says who I am. And not what society want to put on me, or what the history is, or, you know, what people say, or whatever anybody's perception is. No, what matters is my perception of myself. And I consider myself a genius. I have to. I have to consider myself a genius. Because if I'm not a genius, then what? I'm going to be a dummy? No, I'm not going to be a dummy. I'm not going to consider myself a dummy, and I'm not going to doubt myself and say that I can't. I'm going to figure it out the way I've been doing my whole entire life. And if God is with me, who can be against me? If God is for me, who could be against me? He says I'm the head and not the tail. That's the key right there. When you tap into your spiritual right there, then you become a new creation. And then when you start placing your faith on that, 2 Corinthians 5:17, in Christ you a new creation. The old things pass away, all things become new. And you go off for that right there, and you stand on that right there, and you try to be new, and you evolve, and you go, then you're going to experience, you know, you're going to experience different. You're not going to be, you know, held captive. You're not going to be paralyzed. You know, my family and friends. So, with that being said, a once upon a time felon, unashamed for Christ, forever saved.